Wondered how a 900 million ringgit boost could redefine SMEs. How do strategic shifts shape small businesses, fueling innovation in Malaysia's entrepreneurial landscape? These and more in just a moment. I'm Muhammed Ahmad Hamdan and this is Money Matters. Welcome to your favorite channel, TV3, where you can also stream on Tonton. Now, we have with us in the studio today Datuk Michael Kang, entrepreneur and immediate past president of the SME Association of Malaysia, and Geoffrey Williams, professor of economics, Malaysia University of Technology. Welcome to both of you, and thanks for taking the time to be with us on Money Matters.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, Russia.
Right, now, Datuk Michael, I'm going to start with you. Considering broader economic trends, how do you see the current economic environment impacting small businesses in Malaysia? And what strategies would you recommend for entrepreneurs to navigate these macroeconomic challenges successfully?
I think everyone knows that, after the COVID, Malaysia will be facing a lot of challenges, especially small and medium industry. Again, you can see the whole world economy are coming down. I think Malaysia SME are very tough now, especially those micro SME. I think they are facing a lot of challenges. You can see then after the changing the government, we don't have much right policy or assistance from the government to assist the SME. Again, a lot of doing business, the way of doing business are changing. The mode of changing business are all changing. So a lot of SME still, especially micro SME, still very traditional. Their mindset need to change. I think a lot of SME did not change their mindset. They still rely on the government policy, rely on the government support, rely on the government assistance. So my suggestion to all the SME, especially micro SME, they have to work together, with hands on hands, to improve their business, to learn the new way of doing business. A lot of business strategies, business models have been changed. You can see in the world, everyone are changing the way of doing business. You talk about after the internet. We have more the internet. We have a digitization. We have using a lot of AI. But micro SME are not able to adopt all those technology, adopt those digitals. So they're facing a lot of challenges. So against most of the Malaysian micro SME are facing huge challenge now, and they are really suffering. We hope that, I think they have to change the way they're doing business.
Right, changing the mindset is key for SMEs to overcome some of these challenges. Now, Professor Williams, how would you recommend enhancing policies to boost businesses in Malaysia, drawing upon academic insights and also practical considerations?
I think the best way to enhance policy is to have less of it.
Okay.
Because, as Datuk Michael was saying, a lot of micro SMEs simply aren't set up to take on the type of policies that the government has put on the table over the last, particularly during the COVID period. The government were offering a lot of assistance packages, but for specific reasons. For e-commerce, for training, for green economy, for adopting technologies, and most SMEs are micro SMEs, and they're not interested in these types of grants. That's why you're saying, which I think is 100% right, that they're just not able to get themselves into shape to get access to this type of assistance. What the government needs to do, instead of having a grant for green economy or a grant for e-payments or digitalization or training, is just reduce the taxes on the SMEs, particularly the micro SMEs. Just get rid of all of the taxes. Then that will give them more cash flow.
Yeah.
And then they can spend it on what they want, not on what a civil servant from Putrajaya wants, because the civil servant doesn't know what they want. And they don't need to have these green grants. They don't need to have these e-commerce grants. Most of the SMEs are not in that type of business. You know, you have 1.4 million companies registered with SSM. 98% of these are SMEs. But 78% of those SMEs are micro enterprises, 5 or fewer people. And the recent data cleanse, they're cleaning up the data with SSM, and they found that only half of the companies are actually active and are compliant and are handing in the audited accounts. You can't get access to a government grant if you don't give them the accounts.
No, but wouldn't it affect the government coffers if you remove the taxes?
No, because they're not paying tax as it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're too small, number one. Number two, they don't need to make a profit. They only pay the tax on the profit. But if they're a small company, they own the company. Why do they need to pay a profit? A company only needs to pay a profit to give a dividend to the shareholder. They are the shareholder. Therefore, they don't need to declare a profit. They declare a profit, they have to pay tax on the profit.
Datuk Michael, what policy changes or initiative do you believe would be instrumental in fostering a conducive environment for the sustained growth of small businesses in Malaysia?
Especially micro need is hand-holding from the government or private sectors who are able to capacity building, can be able to assist them, on all areas, because SME, especially micro, the way they're doing business are very traditional, buy and sell or just doing some trading the business, just make the negligible profit margin, for the product they sell. It's not easy now, because nowadays of the business is not looking at the buy and sell, or you make the difference from 3% or 5% or even 20%, because there's not enough for them to survive. I think the most important, what the micro SME, the whole change we need to change to assist them, especially the hand-holding, plus especially the capacity building, to make the micro and SME or small SME, they have all angles of making profit, so that they can able to survive, to assist the cash flow. Not only when you can see bank loan, how many SME are really taking out the bank loan from the bank, especially micro? They don't have account, they don't have any document for them to apply a loan, because every single, you can see, whatever, when you need to fulfill all the criteria, I think majority of SME are not eligible. You can see 1.4 million, I don't think, I think more, 80% are not qualified. Yeah.
Right. Professor Williams, looking at the domestic economic landscape, how can policymakers enhance support structures to empower and uplift Malaysian enterprises, particularly in overcoming financial constraints and fostering sustainable growth?
They need to free up the markets. They need to create greater agility. They need to reduce the regulations. When you're running any sort of enterprise, whether it's a big company or a micro enterprise, you know how to run your business better than anybody else. And the worst thing that governments can do is to take your eye off the running of your business because you have to fill out a form. You have to comply with some regulation. Datuk Michael is absolutely right. Many of these companies can't get the loan. They can't get the finance because they don't have the right documentation. Why don't they have the right documentation? Because they're focusing on running their businesses. So what you need to do is to make it easier for them to get access to these things.
Now, we want to move on to digital transformation, which is something that, we can't avoid when we talk about business, big or small. But before we do that, we're going to go for a quick commercial break, so hold that thought. And to our viewers, don't go away, because Money Matters will be back shortly. Welcome back to Money Matters. We're still speaking with Datuk Michael Kang entrepreneur and immediate past president of the SME Association of Malaysia, and Geoffrey Williams, professor of economics, Malaysia University of Science and Technology. Now, Datuk Michael Kang, before I touch on digitalization or digital transformation, just a follow-up question on, when you mentioned the mindset of small businesses in changing the way of doing business. What's stopping them from changing this mindset in the first place?
You see, why stopping them? You can see Malaysia SME, especially micro, they have to, the business they are looking at the profit, how to survive to run their business. If they can't survive, they can't able to change. They don't have any way to change because they have to take care of their daily rice bowl. Without the profit, without the business, growing or making profit, I don't think they get able to change their mindset. So after the COVID, I think they are talking about digitization. A lot of things have been changing in the world. Everyone are moving towards to the digital. They're moving towards to the doing the new way of doing business, using a lot of social media, using a lot of the others, all type of AI, robotic, the business, using to share the business, to we talk about sharing business, how to make everything. They have to find a way and work together and come to share the business and make money together, so that they can. But a lot of SME are still struggling because after COVID, they don't have cash flow. They don't have money. So they have to find a way. They have $1. They have to buy a certain, maybe spend 80 cents to buy the raw materials, and then they make sell $1.20. This is the way that they keep on daily, and they keep on make themselves in the rope. They can't go out from the out of the box. They still remain inside the box.
Zone.
Their comfort. It's not comfort zone. They have to struggle for their business. So
Right.
they really need more assistance.
Very quickly now, we know that changes like the ongoing digital transformation can reshape industries. How do you think small businesses can harness digital advancements to not only survive but also actively participate and excel in the rapidly changing economic landscape?
I think digitization definitely will be able to change the micro SME, the way of doing business to help. This is a tool for them. Again, this is a new way of doing business, especially digitization when we're using the social media, using technologies. All those are able to help. You can sell online, sell everything, broadcasting their products, All these are the way of doing business, they're using the digital money to how to collect the money or through the online system. All these are micro SME should learn how to use it. Even now, everyone know that there is e-wallet, everyone know how to use it, but a lot of micro SMEs still not using. They're still collecting cash. Without cash, they are not able to. They must see the cash.
Right. They rely heavily on cash.
They rely on this heavily on cash. So I think this is the way we have to make sure the whole environment will change.
Professor Williams, as Malaysia seeks economic diversification, especially in the post-pandemic landscape, how can policies be crafted to encourage local enterprises, small enterprises, to explore new sectors and in turn contribute to a more resilient and diversified national economy?
Any new sector, any new business activity has to be driven by market demand. So provided the entrepreneurs can see that there is a demand, then they will naturally provide the product into that market. They don't need the government to tell them that there's demand here or that there's demand there or this is the product you need to sell. They can see it, they can sell it. So provided they have access to whatever information is necessary to see where the market is, they can see a market opening, they can see an opportunity, they can make the business work. And what the government needs to do is simply to step away from that, to allow them to enter into any market whenever they see it as easily as possible, as straightforwardly as possible, without having to apply for a license, without having to apply for some sort of permit or something like that. Just I see a product, I want to sell the product, someone wants to pay me for that, I can do it online. like you're saying. I can market it online. I can sell it online. I can deal with the financial transaction online. That's my business.
Right. Now, let's talk about the 900 million ringgit allocation for SMEs in the 2024 national budget, which is aimed at promoting automation and digitization within the SME sector. Now, Datuk Michael, how do you anticipate this initiative driving growth, innovation, and shaping the economic landscape for entrepreneurs in small and medium industries?
I think this have been proposed last few years, to tell the government, we are giving away. See, the way they're giving 100 millions for the grant, 5,000 ringgit per SME, but 5,000 ringgit for them, what can they do? They can't do much, So if government can consolidate this 100 million to build a system, a digital system, a platform for the SME, for micro to use it, they're just very simple for them to use it with the assistance from the government. I think it will be helped a lot, All micro SME can use. But if today you only give 5,000 per SME, how many SME can benefit from there for 100 million? You can't see, Malaysia got 1.4 million SME, but yeah, exactly. How many SME can get it? But you can help to 20,000. What is the balance? Not even 2%.
Yes.
Yeah, it won't help. So if you can fully utilize the fund, 900 million, if you're using it the right way, again, 900 million can really help the SME, change the SME, to reshape the whole SME, especially micro SME, to bring them to the next level.
Okay, we're going to be talking a lot more on issues surrounding SMEs, such as irregular cash flow, which is a huge problem faced by SMEs. But we're going to make way for another round of commercial break. So hold that thought, and to our viewers, once again, don't go away, because Money Matters will be back shortly. Welcome back. We're speaking with Datuk Michael Kang, entrepreneur and immediate past president of SME Association of Malaysia, and Geoffrey Williams, professor of economics, Malaysia University of Science and Technology. Now, Professor Williams, can you simplify a key economic factor that could revolutionize small businesses in Malaysia?
Key economic factor?
That you can think of.
Low tax, less regulation, greater agility. All of these things will help SMEs.
Datuk Michael, if you could create ideal rules for small businesses, what would they be?
The idea is to create for the SME, especially micro, like what do you say, that they still need to use the tool, the electronics tool, digital tool. This is very important for them. Without digitals, without moving into this, I think they're still facing a huge challenge. If they still don't change it, they're still using the traditional way of doing business. No way they can survive for the next few years. Yeah.
Digitalization,
Yeah.
that's always...
Digitalization is really important. And
really important.
Datuk Michael was saying it before, the sharing economy.
Yeah.
The sharing economy is basically providing a new platform for people to sell products. It's the online sales, but it's also the online delivery. And it also means that many SMEs can get services in particular without having to do it in-house. They can possibly afford it. That could be designing the product, designing the marketing strategy, their accounts, anything like that. So you put it all onto these platforms, then people can sell their services much more easily and much more straightforwardly. We estimated for MDEC that that's going to be worth 313 billion ringgit, 313 billion. So if you compare that to the new industrial master plan that they announced for MIDA, the additional impact of that new industrial master plan for the big companies is 20 billion. But for the small companies on the sharing economy platform, 313 billion.
Which is much larger.
Much larger. It's more. It's 15 times bigger, and that's by 2030.
Which is not too far away from now.
It's the same forecasting range, 15 times bigger in the SMEs. People often say SMEs are the backbone of the economy, the engine of the economy. They're going to drive growth. They are. They are. They're going to do it in very much greater. They have a very much greater capacity for growth because they're smaller, so they have somewhere to go. Bigger companies, larger, they have less growth capacity. And that's really where it's got to be. But it's got to be done through the market itself. The entrepreneurs have to drive it themselves. Government cannot drive that.
It has to come from them instead of relying on the government. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Professor, if you could improve financial tools for small businesses, what changes would you make?
I would encourage them to use e-payment systems, certainly.
Okay.
I would encourage them to use automated accounting systems that will help them with their cash flow, it will help them with their financial planning. And I would particularly encourage them to use e-payments.
Datuk Michael, how would you design a solid financial support system for small businesses?
If government can assist from there, I think it's much more easier for the SME to improve their cash flow, especially when SME embark into digitals. Everything they are using digitals, include like our Professor Geoffrey has mentioned that we are using the digital accounting, digital payment, everything is online. So there is a proper documentations online system. You have it. So for government, even for the banking system, to provide loan, provide them to help, or even the corporate or big company to pay them online earlier. So I think everything in proper system. So when you deliver, you got your payment, you will be really help the SME improve their cash flow. If the government can insist embark to help the SME, that those corporate can pay on earlier, within a week, or the moment they deliver within a week, they can get their money. I think it will really help the SME a lot.
Right. Datuk Michael, what's your outlook on the SMEs segment in Malaysia for this year and also maybe going forward? Are we on the right track?
I think SME, we had to wait for the next generation, the new generation, the young generations to change the whole business model. If we can wait for, if we rely on the old generations, traditional of SME, I don't think they'll be able to change much for the time being. The only those businesses which we run by the young generation, they are really embarked into the share economy. They have really moved into the digital, using a lot of technologies, sell online, offline. Not only going back to, you can see most of the business are SME are actively run by the young entrepreneur. Young entrepreneur, they are really focused on B2C, B2B and B2C, or online, offline. This is the major. But you can go back to you can see the traditional SME, traditionals of micro SME still not much changing after the COVID. Before, during the COVID, yes, there are a lot of trying to learn, change, but they're back, when they come back to the comfort zone, they feel that okay, for me, I have run the business for, I just need to able to survive for next another couple of years. Maybe I'll retire. I will not going to continue my business. You know, a lot of SME, you can see that after COVID, a lot of traditional micro SME or SME are shut down because they don't change business. They know that they are not able to survive, so they close down. But there are a lot of very good business model we have been losing them away. But this is we feel that this is very bad for SME, for our country economy. Right. But if you can help them to change the way, that's why just now I started, I changed the mindset. They had to change. If they know, find a way, they're willing to change by using digitals, by using the change of B2, we talk about online, offline business way. I think they could be able to success and make themselves much more better.
Do you want to add anything to that, Professor Williams, just before we wrap up the session?
I think I would add two things. The first thing is universities are not teaching this.
Okay.
90% of graduates don't set up companies.
Yeah.
They get a job with somebody else. Only about 10% of university graduates across all subjects are going into business. So you want to be an entrepreneur, you don't go to university. That's number one. Number two, the new generation of entrepreneurs that Datuk Michael was talking about, these are gig economy workers.
Right.
I mean, that's what they are. If the government sets up a gig economy commission, they're going to kill it. They're going to kill it hands down.
Okay.
And so what they need to do is to step away from that regulation and over-regulating and allow that creativity to come out. The younger generation of entrepreneurs will naturally sell online. They will naturally ask for payments, e-payments, rather than any other form of payment. They will naturally work with influencers and with other people in order to build their marketing strategy. They're digital natives, after all. That's their domain. That's how they do stuff, right? And that's really where the growth areas are, because it gets them a market, not just here in Malaysia, not just wherever they might be, in Sungai Long or in Cheras or in Subang or wherever it is. It gives them immediately a global market. And that's where the growth is.
Professor Geoffrey Williams and Datuk Michael Kang, thank you both once again for taking the time to be with us on this episode of Money Matters.
Pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure.
Right. For the past half an hour, you've been with us on Money Matters. If you missed the earlier part of this episode, you can also catch it up on Tonton. Be sure to join us next week, same time, right here on TV3. I'm Muhammed Ahmad Hamdan. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.